Hi everyone, this is Commissioner Winston Barnes with another in the series of chats where we bring information we think is of vital importance to members of our community. Today we have as our guest Michael Rowe. We are going to talk generally about Social Security. There are a number of myths, misunderstandings, and just plain wrong information that exists around the reality that is Social Security. And we be trying to share this information that will clear up a number of doubts that people have about what Social Security is. But let me have Michael introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what he does in his job of work.
Hi, so I'm Michael Rowe. I'm an insurance agent, and most people don't know that insurance agents that have a specific license also has to do a course in Social Security. Okay. You know, so once we, most of us, once we get that out of the way, we never ever discuss. No, we never ever discuss Social Security. We go straight into what makes us money. Over the years, I've heard a young man talking about Social Security on and off. I wasn't that great at Social Security, even after I did that exam, but Winston Barnes was always mentioning Social Security. I don't know if you guys know, but he was always dabbling and saying things about Social Security. Because I'm sure people have been asking questions and saying things, and so I started digging in, and as I do my little thing with you, I try to read up a little bit about Social Security and say something, that I think will impress on the people. Hey, this makes sense. I need to change some of the ways I've been thinking about, Social Security. And a lot of it wasn't that they were so wrong about what they were thinking. It was they didn't know that based on their situation, it just didn't apply that way. It's not, you're here when you're 60. There's no way at 66 you're gonna be up there getting Social Security, especially if you actually didn't get into the game and play into it.
Straight into that aspect of this whole reality, Michael. There is an assumption on the part of a number of people in our community that the only qualification you have to receive Social Security is to turn 65.
Yeah. And, it used to be, I still say 65 to be honest with you. It used to be 65, but it changed and it became 66 and 2 months.
Okay.
And so, as you get up in age, I think it's like 1956, that is 66 and 2 months, and then 65, it's 66 and 4 months, and you keep adding as the years go by. Okay. You keep adding two more months till you come to age 67 for people who are born 1960 and forward. So all of that has changed, but even though it has changed, and I actually read up on it often, I still say 65 most of the time.
Because it became part
because that's how we knew it.
Yes.
Yes. And so for I tell you, it's heartbreaking when people who didn't get the information, because nobody's telling you anything about it. If you have a regular job, if you're an employee, your employer takes some money out of your pay and you don't even know how much it is. It's about 6.2% that you personally pay. And then your employer contributes the other part. Well. Okay. Now, myself being W-2 some years and self-employed some years, when I got that bill saying 12.4%, I was saying, who? And most people get that bill. And they, and when I say they get the bill, when they're doing their taxes, their accountant or tax preparer will say, this will go towards that. And then they start, 12.4%, and they're like, I have to contribute all of that. Yeah, but it's going to help you. So you have to decide if you're going to participate in that or not. All you have to do is check some of your older friends who are small business people, and you'll see it gets messy.
Talk a little, and this is another reality for our specific community here in South Florida, the matter of independent contractors.
Yeah, independent contractor and self-employed people, it's difficult when you get the check and it's in your name, or you get the
To
cash,
not want
or
to
you get a
just
check
hold on
that
to
says
it.
cash, and you're not doing any kind of bookkeeping. You're not,
Ah,
it's your responsibility now at this time, because some places not wasting their 1099.
okay.
If you have a great accountant, tax preparer, CPA, they'll guide you, and these people are vital to our community. But
Yeah.
sometimes, I just want to know how much I'm getting back. If I'm getting back a lot of money, if I can just pay very
Which
little.
might be the wrong attitude again.
Yeah, because we're not taught about it. And
As an
number two,
investment.
yeah, but number two, you're thinking about how do I get ahead today and next week.
Not planning
and-
down
and-
the road.
Yeah, you're not really planning down the road. So we need to have that conversation with our friends and family, especially those who are self-employed and independently employed.
Because a lot of our people, and my reading of the situation is that, okay, we legally get paid off the books,
Yes.
sometimes under the table, but, oh, we know the story. But the
I'm
responsibility,
wondering if we can really admit it.
oh, it is,
It's happening.
it is a phenomenon across the country. Where I think we miss the boat, though, Mike, is that we don't realize that we have a personal responsibility inside of that setup. We find out sometimes when our tax preparer does the work, but we also find out sometimes when we want to purchase that first house.
Yeah. Yes. And I know that game. I was in the mortgage business for a number of years. So, I'm no longer. But yes, it gets crazy when you need to do things like that. When you need to buy a home, you get disabled or something, you need to go
Yeah.
apply for one of these benefits, one of these programs like Social Security Disability, and then it becomes important. So, Winston, that I've been saying this, and I just want to say this, I want to say it over and over again. We need to get on the Social Security website, socialsecurity.gov, and open an online Social Security account. I didn't do it until a few years ago, but what it really did for me and my wife and some friends, it got, oh, that's all I'm gonna get? No, it's little things that we've been doing that makes that happen. So, you have to kind of step back and say to your tax person, what can I do
To increase my contribution.
Right. What can I do to make this better? Because,
Make the
we
numbers
have
look
that
better
power.
going forward, right?
Yeah. So, so if we all go, everybody who is not getting Social Security yet, go socialsecurity.gov and set up the online account. And those of you who are getting Social Security can do it, because you know what? Now you get to teach your kids and, a family member, you give them some advice, because there's so much information there. I can't tell it. There's so much that, every time I go on it, I have to tell you, Winston.
You find something new.
I go, okay, all right. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. You find something new. But for yourself, for you personally, you go there and you see this is all about you. You see everything. You get to at least check on some of your past earnings and that kind of thing, because it's right there.
Yeah.
They're showing you. And you get to see if you start claiming at different ages, it shows
How
you.
much you actually-
But I don't want to get ahead of you. I know you have something else that you want to ask before we, because I can keep talking about the topic, because
Not
I
a
get to
problem.
like it, because, you see, sometimes I can do something really simple that really helps a lot of
Major
people.
difference in your life.
Guess what I mean? You can't keep it a secret. It's
There
not
you go.
costing me anything.
Which is a good time for me to remind our viewers and members of the City of Miramar, the community here, that we're talking here with Michael Rowe, and the topic today we're looking at is Social Security and how important it is to get as much information as you can, because not only is there not enough information about it abroad in our community, but some of the information is inaccurate.
Yeah.
One of the things I want us to come back to is that whole tax preparation thing. What happens with us that we get bombarded by the advertisements that basically plugging how much you're going to get back. And sometimes getting back that is not in your best interest.
You know, isn't that really hard to resist? I mean, when you see the sign saying you can get back 10,000 something. I mean, I want to make the call, but because I understand, I know better.
But the money is attractive.
It is attractive, but you know, you're really not helping yourself in the long run. You just have to look at the future and say, you know what happened? That's great, but let me talk to someone who I trust, who I think is acting in my best interest, and start to make some move. Because I tell you, when you get close to that time, when you get close to that age to be filing, it gets crazy. You look and you say, that's not going to work.
I obviously have been here for a while, and so I understand certain realities. What has happened with me for Social Security is that I'm just extremely pleasantly surprised.
Aren't you the lucky one?
Where did this money come from? I'm serious.
You know?
Maybe it's because I'm actively still working and being
That's
involved
a part of it.
in the day-to-day work world. But one of the things that really, really fascinated me was that my daughter was collecting too. And I'm saying, how is that?
No, and that happens. You know, as a parent, when you start to file and, you know, you have kids under a certain age,
yes,
they can also file.
I didn't file nothing, it was coming.
Actually, on your retirement benefits, on disability benefits, depending on the age where the child is, and the spouse, you know, if the spouse is taking care of children under a certain age, you know, for the retirement benefits, spouse can file on your benefits once you file. As soon as they're age 62, they get a small percentage. And the thing is, again, when you go to socialsecurity.gov and you set up your online account, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. I mean, there's just so much information. You can see, because you know already it's the government. They know all your business.
Yeah, already. Which is something I need to remind our residents about. When your child turns 18, a number of changes take place. You cannot accept certain benefits for them. It has to go directly to them. I mean, you get these notices that says, by the way, stop this, because she's now 18.
Yeah. For the Social Security, if the kid is still in high school, up to 19, they can still get.
Okay.
So that's great. But under 16, all of the kids get, and they get off the parent, they call it the primary insurance amount. But there's a certain maximum. They have a maximum that you can't get more than that, because some of, you know, there's some families, there's some religious groups that they have a lot of kids, and there's some, you know,
have to pull a line somewhere.
Yeah, you know, so they give about between 150 and 180% of the person who is filing, that parent who is filing, the whole family can get up to, separate and apart from yours. It doesn't diminish what you get. You can get up to 180%.
But Mike, it comes right back to what we've been saying. If people are not going to this website, where would they get this information?
So that's why I see this here. So this is a little trifold thing, Winston, that you can get it at the Social Security office. But when you see all of these papers, you don't know what to do. You start reading it, all of it don't make sense. So, you know, you don't...
Some of it don't make sense.
You know, so you're looking, you're seeing all of these numbers, and you're going, oh. But just to look, and this is just giving you a little idea. This part is telling you that a person who is 30, and we're talking about retirement benefits, a person who is 30, and when they get to full retirement age, look what it's showing. It's showing $1,260, but they're only earning $25,000 a year. They're showing that, and you know, if they're 30 now and they're earning $25,000, it's highly likely they're going to be earning that same when they get to 67.
Right.
You know, so this is not. It's just showing 25,000. But what that person will do if they're now on the socialsecurity.gov website and they see a little box and it says, what do you think your future earnings is going to be?
Forward.
And they just put 40,000 in there or 35,000.
Okay.
They see that number change. going up.
Oh.
Again, so it's just a really great place to go and kind of get to see, you know, what will happen. And see it have the different income levels there.
Talk about as well, Michael, disability benefits. Talk about what relevance that has for our community.
So, and we're going to go back to retirement and then go to disability. If you have those credits in the 10 years of work history, and that's kind of like the minimum, to be honest. There's some exceptions. The 10 years and 40 credit, that's what they talk about, to be fully qualified to start getting Social Security. Plus the age that you get to. So, you know, the age, the filing age is 66 and 4 months of this year, right? So that's what you need. You need to have some credits in there. But if we're talking about disability now, switching to disability. If you don't have all of the credits, if you don't start having some credits in there, guess what? And you get disabled, you don't qualify. They're looking to see if you have the credits.
Okay.
There's some exceptions. They say there's a rule that says if you're younger, like the 30-year-old person now, and you're working just under 2 years and you get disabled, you qualify. You qualify.
Whoa.
You see how important it is?
Ah, look at that.
So they don't even have all the credits, you know. But because they know this is a young person, they just got in the system, they're paying in, they got disabled. When I say under 2 years, I think they say like 1 year and 6 months. For all the folks now, they expected you to have been in the system longer.
Anyways,
but
right.
guess what happened? Look at us now. You're talking about a 60-year-old immigrant coming from somewhere around the world.
Yeah.
That's a little bit
That's
ticklish.
tough.
That's tough. You
Even
know,
if you did jump into the system, it's kind of late in the day.
it's kind of late. So that is why it's so important to just start getting in those credits. As soon as you can and you have a job, you're earning money, just start paying in. You know what's funny, Winston? And I don't mean to say it's funny. What's really serious is that the Medicare money going to come out of that money too, you know.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So hold on now. If you're not in the system, it's not just a case of not getting
The retirement benefit.
your retirement benefits from SSA, but you probably need to take care of some medical bills as well.
So you see, that's the thing, you know. Everything is tied into it.
Wow.
You know, so your retirement benefits, the disability if you become disabled, and the big one is if the breadwinner pass away.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about survivor's benefits, and then, you know, your spouse can get, your kids, again, can get, the disabled kid can get for the rest of them life, right? The kids under 16 and up to 19 in school, in high school. So, you know, it's just too much to risk.
Okay.
You know?
You've been in the field for a while. Why is it, if you have an understanding, why have people not gravitated towards this kind of information? Or is it that they have the information and don't think it applies to them?
You see, when, you know, for most people, when you have, especially when they're self-employed or independent employed, you have most of the people, if they're just going to a tax preparer, that is saying about the money you can get back. They're not really giving you that information.
Because as you said, we're looking at immediate benefits and not looking down the road.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, that's how we're built, you know, Winston. You know,
Instant
as you know,
gratification.
it takes so much discipline to even take the stairs. I was looking for an elevator when I parked over there. I was looking for an elevator to come down. I was just on the second floor.
I
So,
actually
you know,
used the stairs today. Hey.
so you know, it's tough. You know, you have to be disciplined, and you just really have.
Because what we're really saying here, though, you know, is we need to recognize there needs to be a change in culture, in the way we think about certain things.
Yes.
Because, okay, and we're speaking here specifically about immigrants. You come to this country and the notion is work hard, you're going to be good. Not necessarily anymore.
No, not necessarily.
Because if you're working hard, and I hate this, but it's cliche, but if you're not having at least some of your money work for you, you're working in vain.
We're seeing it right now.
Exactly.
You know, as things get more expensive and, you know, your pay, your retirement income is not keeping up with inflation, although there's, you know, there's more we can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
They do some things that kind of should help you. It's not dollar for dollar. Nothing is. So, you know, you have to be taking some steps to really protect yourself. And, you know, we have to share this information. We really have to share it, and then we have to go back and we have to encourage people to do it. Because, you know, listen, Winston, you and I know that people didn't just start looking at saying, oh, they're not going to pay in it. You know, I don't know how it is that so many people find themselves in the situation at retirement, and then it looks far different from what they expected. Because, you know, when you depend on a man that is not experienced in a certain thing and you expect him to do it, it's really difficult.
It's tough.
It's tough because he might not understand it enough, and because it seems a little bit complicated,
foreign,
you know.
different.
He's just like, you know what?
Don't
I'm
bother.
not even going to worry about that.
Let us look, Mike, at what people ought to be doing differently from the get-go. Let's start at a 30-year-old.
A 30-year-old,
Because he's good. He could fix any car you bring to him.
You know?
And he makes some good money because he can juggle his time. What should he be doing, though?
So if you are self-employed, you're out there, you have to do your thing on your own. The first thing I say is find a good tax preparer.
Okay.
There are good people out there. Find someone that you trust, that you connect with. I would dare say find a CPA, a certified public accountant. You know, they just can't play. They have to go straight and narrow. You know, you'll never see one of them have that big sign out there, $10,000, you know, on your return.
God,
they don't do that.
Right.
They don't do that. You know, so find someone who's gonna kind of start talking to you about that. And we're not talking about any great, no magic investment thing. This is something simple. You pay your some taxes. You know the percentage. Look, if you're self-employed, it's 12.4. You know, those of you who have a job and get a W-2, you don't even have to worry about it because they're doing it. It's taken care of already. You know, but what you kind of want to make sure is that you're not really, when you're going and doing your taxes, is writing off every single thing that you can write off.
Makes no sense.
No, because eventually you're paying that, but what you're doing, you're kind of lowering the money that you see on this paper. It gone down to nothing, and then when you see, you know, what you're really getting in the end,
and then it comes back to bite you, because we already spoke about someone looking to purchase a home. When those numbers don't match, you're not getting that mortgage.
No, you're not getting the mortgage. So now, you know, you realize this one thing can cause so much pain
down the road.
So, you know, you start out, you know, thinking I'm going to benefit from it, and then you realize, and when you learn, you just have to go share it. Tell somebody else and say, you know what, I tried this and it didn't work. It doesn't make any sense.
Which brings us then to the other end of the spectrum. You're not 30, but you're 60. Any hope, or too late?
Oh no, you know what? As long as you're healthy enough to work, there's still hope. You go work, you start filing those taxes, you know, you get that for the credit. Remember, you know, 60, you know. I mean,
and people are working longer
70
now.
is the new 60.
Exactly.
So you're saying something now that makes a whole lot of sense. People living longer. You know, Winston, I was doing some reading some time ago for the program, and I saw that when Social Security just started and the filing age was 65, life expectancy was really 62. I was like,
they had it rigged.
What's going on here?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, I need to see it somewhere else. And I start Googling it, and it was just popping up a lot of places. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So, you know, I think that could be part of the reason why people feel like, you know what, I need to get mine now. You always hear people say, what if I die? I need to file at 62. That is the earliest time you can file. So, you know, it's not, people are not crazy. They know if it no goes so, it nearly goes so.
Listen, and I'm sure this is a question our residents want answered. There have been claims for a number of years now. Oh no, in 10 years, in 25 years, there'll be not enough money to pay Social Security.
Yeah, you know, no, that's troubling, and sometimes you wonder why, you know, Congress and everybody else is not talking about it much more. It's just politics as usual. But, you know, in the early days, what you used to have is that you used to have more people working than collecting Social Security.
Okay.
The reverse has happened. So when that was happening, first of all, they had a surplus. You always hear them talking about that surplus. What they're really talking about is
The
going
surplus
bust.
has been
Is the
reduced.
surplus. Is the surplus. Because there were more people working then and
collecting.
built it up. So what they were paying out, they had leftovers. So they banked it in the trust. And now there's more people collecting than that's working. So you hear this, they'll say like, I think the numbers, they would say that the participation rate in employment, the amount of people, eligible people out there to work, but the amount that are working is 60% of people who are really eligible to work. A lot of the people are just not in the workforce. And, you know, I think that they're in, but they're not participating in Social Security. You know what I mean? So that's why that number seems so grave. But so there's, I think this is about almost $3 trillion in the fund.
The fund.
Again, when you start reading, you find out that there's more money in different parts of Social Security that they don't know what to do with, because some of it is people paying into it who really don't have an opportunity of getting anything. You know?
Wow.
So there are people who...
The money's sitting inside.
So yeah, there's money. They talk about a suspense account, and they have big numbers. They tell you about big
I like
numbers.
that one, suspense account.
Yeah, we're talking accounting now, you know? So they have that suspense account, and they put those monies in it. Plus, if they make a mistake with, like, your income and they didn't get to put it in and they don't know what to do with it, that's in the suspense account. Yeah. And then if they sort it out, it will get back on you. It will come back to you. But there are a certain set of people who have paid in it, some gone back home, some still working, and the thing is not absolutely legitimate, but they're still, you know, putting in. And, you know, if they don't find themselves straight, they'll never have access to that.
That money's going to be there forever. Yeah.
No, you know, I mean, when I see that, I'm like, okay, if you know that's so, you know, what if the person come to you, to the Social Security, and say, I want an answer to this question. What if the person come and say, you know, I paid in this much, and
I still don't have any papers.
I'm heading back home now. Can I get
my money?
Can I get my money? I'm hoping that, you know.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Wow.
You know, because that's really that person's money.
Michael Rowe, I don't know how to tell you thanks for this information that you've shared with us. And I tell you, one way I want to tell you thanks is by having you share your phone number with people, just in case they want to talk to you about other things that you specialize in.
Okay. So, you know, my direct line is 954-802-3692. And the office is at 6825 Miramar Parkway. And we are always willing to help you with your life insurance need, home insurance, car insurance. I'm the life insurance specialist. And I'll talk to you about Social Security and give you a little bit of advice and tell you where to go look and encourage you to set up your online Social Security account. You know, Winston, as I tell you, this is just my way of giving back. From the mortgage days, this community have been supporting me. I mean, life insurance, when the modification, you know, when the housing craziness was going on, and people have supported me. So it's, you know, what we should do is just support each other. Give back, give back, give back.
Michael, thanks a million for spending time with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Our chat with Michael Rowe about Social Security today. He gave his phone number. If you need to be in touch with him, please call his office. If you need to be in touch with him and you can't get the number, get in touch with my office. I thank you so much for spending this time with us.